and ghouls. So welcome to I guess my first podcast. I have no idea what I'm doing but I guess we can learn together. Today is the 20th of April. It is a Saturday. Tomorrow is Easter Sunday in the UK. I'm not sure if that is a universal thing, but we have Easter tomorrow. So I figured, since I've got a bit of time off today, I thought I'd sit down and have a go at making you guys a podcast. I have no idea how long this is going to be. I'm not even sure if this is recording properly, since this is the first time I have actually done a record audio option on my video editor, but we will only see. So I have basically been having a bit of a think about how I can make my channel a little bit more diverse. We are finally about to enter Halloween season. Halloween season in England kind of starts around the end of July, August. So I know we're not quite there yet, but it's getting exciting. You kind of know once it is the school holidays, that's when you can start getting ready. So that kind of means that my channel is going to very soon become predominantly hauls. It is already kind of going that way anyway, but I kind of was thinking, what can I kind of put out there? What kind of content can I create which will be interesting to people who perhaps are interested in spooky content but don't really want to see hauls, or they want to see something a little bit different. Saying that though, I guess you won't be seeing anything, you'll be hearing this instead. So yeah, I thought a podcast would be a good way to kind of give a bit of a different kind of content, but at the same time allows me to interact a little bit more with you guys. So as you guys may or may not know, I do always link it down in the description below. I do have a Facebook group called Haunted Ghoul Group. That is definitely the name. And that is a group just for any of you guys. If you want to go ahead and join, just send a request. They literally accept everyone as long as it's not a spam account. And it's just a place where you can kind of get to know some of the other people that do watch my videos, and just generally people in the spooky community. There are people from England in there, people from, I think we've got some people from Australia, definitely America, Germany. There's loads and loads of different people there, and it's really interesting to actually kind of see you guys having proper conversations rather than just sort of comments on a video. As much as I honestly love reading your comments, I feel like the Haunted Ghoul group is just amazing for like actually kind of making new spooky friends, and it just brings the community together a little bit more. So on there I did do a poll. Is it called a poll or a pool? No, a poll. Definitely a poll. I did a poll to see if the people who were part of the group would be interested in a podcast, and it was literally 100% yes, and no one said no. So yeah, that's another thing about the Haunted Ghoul group, is it is like a place where I will kind of go to if I'm looking for advice or I want your guys' opinions on anything. So definitely, if you want to have a little bit more of an active part of what kind of things go on this channel, definitely a good place to kind of have your say. So yeah, basically everyone kind of said yes to a podcast, and then I was like, great, I'm going to film a podcast. How am I going to make sure that I have content each week? Because obviously it probably will drag a little bit if I don't have kind of new ideas, and I only have so many ideas. And I've got a lot of videos filmed, a lot of videos to film. So kind of on the kind of filming front, I'm fine. But where I'm just sort of sat down talking, I feel like I may need a little bit of inspiration, which is why I kind of came up with the idea of kind of basing these podcasts around a topic or a theme, which I will get to in a secondo. But basically, yeah, I put that out, and I've had a few suggestions already, which have been really good. If you do have any kind of ideas of topics you'd like me to cover in the future, then please do leave them down in the comments below, or you can DM them to me, you can Instagram them. If you want to join the Facebook group or you're part of the Facebook group, I have put like a little picture of a ghostie, and it just says podcast. suggestions, I'm pretty sure, and you can leave them down in the comments there as well. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do any particular order. I think I'll just sort of sit down like today, have a little look and see which ones kind of tickle my fancy for the day. But first, before I go into that, I thought I'd kind of give you a little bit of an update, because it has been a while since I've actually been able to sit down and talk to you guys rather than kind of showing you things and unboxing things. I 100% am missing Vlogtober and what was Vlogmas, that was the other one. I'm honestly not sure how well I'm going to be able to do either of those this year, because I am currently just finishing my degree. I am literally like 600 words away from finishing my dissertation, which is very exciting and very scary. And I'm currently still in the kind of job searching part of my life, which is not fun. I haven't had to be doing this for like the last sort of 3-4 years. I haven't had to worry. But when it is kind of looming that your education is finishing and you are now technically unemployed, it is relatively terrifying. So I have been looking around. You guys may have seen, I think it was my henna one, when I dyed my hair with henna. I briefly talked about the fact that I was dyeing my hair kind of more natural colours for job interviews. I did have a interview at a school which I thought was like my absolute dream school ever, and the interview went really well, and basically it came down to experience. There was loads and loads of applicants and I got narrowed down. Like it was me against one other lady, and it just came down to experience, because I am an NQT, a newly qualified teacher, and she'd been kind of teaching for a few years, so they went for someone who has a little bit more experience. So I was really, really upset about that, and to be honest, it was a little bit of a downer. Definitely kind of knocked my confidence a little bit. For a while I was like, do you know what, I'm not going to go into teaching, I'm just going to open a cafe and have like cats in my cafe and have a great time. But now that the kind of dust has settled a bit, you know, things happen for a reason. It obviously wasn't meant to be. And since then I have looked at a few other schools. There's been a few other opportunities pop up, and I have seen a couple of places which I really, really love, and I definitely now kind of stepping back can see myself fitting into these schools potentially more than the first school that I went for an interview at. So it is definitely exciting, but very, very stressful times at the moment. Every single day I am looking on the kind of online teaching website, seeing if any new jobs have popped up. It's a very long process, because you have to kind of find a school that's right for you, the right age, the right kind of class, the right area, and then you have to go visit the school and write the whole application, which is kind of normally 7 to 15 pages long, which is fun. And then, yeah, if you even get through that whole kind of process, then you have an interview. During an interview, they can vary quite a lot, but you usually have to teach a lesson. You have like a formal part of the interview. Sometimes you have kind of other assessment things to do. And after all that, it's, again, luck of the draw whether or not you even get the job. So it's a very long process. And I have to apologise ahead of time. If I do kind of disappear for a week, I probably have got a few interviews or something like that I have to deal with. So I don't even remember how I got onto this topic. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm going through right now. Oh yes, I was talking about Vlogtober. But in September, fingers crossed, like everyone, please send positive vibes. I will have a job for September, which means in October I am going to be teaching full time, hopefully, fingers crossed. So I'm not sure how well Vlogtober will work, to be honest, and it will only be my third month of teaching. So I'm sure I'll still be quite kind of like settling into the role as such. But of course we do have the October half term, so I may just start for October in the half term. That's sort of what I did this year. I was a little bit late to the party. I do really love Vlogtober, so hopefully I can fit it in. And definitely I think I'm going to be using YouTube and you guys on my channel as just a kind of way of ensuring I have good work-life balance. Obviously my teacher life is very, very separate to this life, and I have different priorities for both. So I'm hoping that this can almost be my outlet and my way of relaxing, because I do genuinely love creating content. So yeah, since I haven't been vlogging for a while, I haven't really been updating you on like what's going on. So as I've just said, that's what I'm currently doing. To be honest though, for the next sort of few months, I am a little bit more free. It's kind of the calm before the storm. I've got my dissertation to finish, which, as you guys have heard, I am nearly there. And then I have a couple more assignments to do, just kind of like the last little things just to hand in and finish off. And yeah, then we have our final day of university. I think that's around the 17th of May, where we will have a party and eat lots of pizza. And then that's it really, that's university done. In June, I am going to be working for the whole entire month. I was kind of luckily given the chance to do some maternity cover in a class, so I'm going to be teaching just for June. Should give me a little bit more, oh, nearly fell off my chair, a little bit more spending money for the summer. In July, I have jury duty, which is going to be hilarious. Again, I'm not sure if you have this in every country, but in England, you are randomly selected to be part of a jury in court. So I actually was asked to go and do jury duty in March, but I was busy with my placement, my teaching placement, so I was able to move it. So I've moved it to the beginning of July. So for the first 2 weeks in July, I'll be doing jury duty, and then I'm kind of free like the end of July. August, I'm going on a little holiday to Scotland because my aunt is getting married, so she's kind of booked out a castle in Scotland for a week. So me and Mike and my whole family are going to go up there. And then obviously that's going to be when the Halloween stuff comes out in August, and then September, as I said, hopefully I'll be going into my teaching. So although it seems very busy, it's also very chill at the same time. So I'm hoping kind of between now and June I can get some more content out. Obviously that will be kind of like split between job hunting and YouTube. And then yeah, June, I'm not sure how well it's going to go. July, hopefully I can get some stuff out. In August, we're going on holiday. And then obviously, yeah, that brings us around to September. So while we're on the kind of topic of August, that is when there is a cat in this room. I can hear it. Where is it? Topic of August. That is when things are like start dropping in homesense. So I have been in contact with the lady who kind of helps choose the items that are going to be going out in the Halloween range. So she has already kind of chosen, booked, bought, stocked all the Halloween stuff that we're going to be receiving and seeing in the stores in Halloween 2019, which is really, really exciting. So I have kind of had a little chat with her about what sort of things we're going to be kind of getting this year, what things we're going to be looking for. I did also put in a few requests. So I told her I really liked the fabric items. This year we got table runners, obviously we got our tea towels. So maybe things like blankets and maybe more bedding. Obviously there was blankets and beddings in Home Store and More this year, which were amazing. Again, a massive thank you to Yasmin. I still use my Halloween bedding every single day of my life. But yeah, I did kind of talk to the lady and suggest, you know, that obviously went down really well this year for Home Store and More. So maybe homesense could stock something similar. I would love to kind of have another Halloween bedding to sort of choose from. I'm one of these people that I'll find something I like and then I just stick with it. So my Halloween bedding, I literally take it off, wash it and dry it all in one day just so that I can put the same one back on. I do have like obviously lots of autumnal bedding, and I also have like my witchy cat bedding, which I got from Asda, which again I really, really like. But when I have to choose between like pine cones and then like a haunted house with pumpkins and ghosts, I kind of go for the haunted house with pumpkins and ghosts. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But yeah, I think hopefully there'll be some more kind of fabric-y items. There's definitely going to be some returning items. So this year they did kind of trial a few kind of more odd items. So we had like the pineapple with the pumpkin face in, which I liked. But the kind of main reason I like it is because I love pina coladas. If you guys may have seen, I have a pina colada tattoo on the back of my leg, and it is actually a coconut with the pumpkin face cut out of it. So when I did see the kind of pineapple guy to match my coconut guy, of course I was going to be getting that. So yeah, that was one of the kind of odd sort of weird things they came out with this year, which sold really well. So she said she wasn't going to be surprised if they had the same kind of pineapple thing come out again, but it is very sort of based on current themes. So in stores last year, pineapples and flamingos were the sort of theme. The summer theme is what I would call it, and so they kind of based it off of that. So I mean, I'm not too up to date with what the current themes are, especially since it's not quite yet summer here in England, so it will probably be based off that, but there will be some more weird items like that. There's definitely going to be some more plant themed ones. So last year we did have a fly trap one, which I unfortunately didn't get my hands on, but would love to have one of those. We also had, I think they were roses with eyeballs in. So this year they've got a few more different kind of flowers coming out with different eyeballs in. I seem to think there may be an orchid or something similar to that sort of a flower. But she showed me some kind of mock-ups of what they would look like, and kind of what they base their orders off. So there's a few more kind of flower ones coming out. Again, these are spooky, I think almost kind of verging on horror themed. I do not know if they're really my cup of tea, but they did sell really, really well this year, and I think that's probably why they're ordering more of those in. I did tell her when I had a chat with her about when she was ordering the stuff for this year, that I did quite like kind of the more vintagey style stuff that they were coming out, the things with a bit more detail. I feel like there is a very fine line when it comes to UK Halloween decorations, where they can either be incredibly detailed and then you kind of just drop the detail a little bit and it becomes incredibly tacky. So I've just kind of tried to steer her in that kind of direction. I also mentioned that this year, very sorry to the Ghoul Goth if he's listening to this, this year we did have a lot of skulls. I do admin most of the Halloween pages for the UK on Facebook, and there were quite a few people complaining that we do love the skulls, but you can buy skulls in TKMAXX and HomeSense pretty much all year round. And this Halloween was very, very, very heavy on skulls. There was a lot of the same sort of thing. And they weren't particularly like Halloween skulls. They were just very sort of generalized ones, which I personally felt like we could kind of buy throughout the year relatively easily, whereas obviously we can't buy a cat on a pumpkin all the way through the year. So I did mention that to her, which she did note. So yeah, that was basically the kind of chat I had with her. Off the top of my head, I can't really remember any other. I mean, she definitely said there was going to be more kind of like cat pumpkin combos. And I did also mention the kind of garlands, because they did have some really nice ones this year, but some of the prices of them were horrendous. So I did kind of bring that up. But yeah, basically she said that she was going to obviously consider all of that. And yeah, so it'd be exciting to see what sort of things they come up with. So if I just head on over to my page, I'm very sorry if you hear like my computer in the background, or my phone, or Mike, who's traipsing around the house being very noisy. So one of the comments on my Facebook page by Sean said Halloween, like his kind of topic as such for a podcast, was Halloween items that you really want, ones that exist, or that you would make if you could. That was a jumble. Basically, which Halloween items would I like, ones that already exist, or perhaps ones that I could make. And again, someone on Instagram, I'm pretty sure, asked a very similar question indeed. Let me just have a look. It was Pastel Crypt asked most wanted Halloween decorations. So since we're on the topic of homesense and TKMAXX, probably best if we kind of delve down this little rabbit hole. So obviously this year has been voted Year of the Bat. Again, this was done through the Facebook page, Haunted Ghoul group. I think I did also do a poll here on Instagram as well. But this year is the Year of the Bat. Last year I kind of made up the Year of the Ghost, because when I was kind of looking around my collection, I definitely felt like I was missing ghost themed things. This year I definitely am not missing any kind of bat themed things. I'm pretty sure that 90% of the things I own are bat themed. But you guys spoke and you guys wanted it to be Year of the Bat, and I love bats and I can always do with more of them, so I am absolutely fine with that. So yeah, this year is Year of the Bat, so I guess I will kind of be looking for decorations which are bat themed. I would like to see more kind of like cute themed bat things this year. Some of the bat themed things which were out last year were very like terrifying looking, and I like my bats to be quite cute. I also love a good hanging bat, as you guys know, maybe some sleepy bats. Things which I saw last year that I wanted, which were bat themed, included, and I know this is a little bit hypocritical, there was a stack of skulls. I know, I just said that we didn't want more skulls. There was a stack of skulls which had bats sort of flying around them. So I would love to kind of maybe pick up one of those. I think those have been in store for the last 2 years. The way TKMAXX and homesense work, and I know that I'm specifically just talking about these 2 stores at the moment, but they are the main contenders when it comes to like high quality Halloween decorations here in the UK. I believe in America it is your equivalent of Home Goods and TKMAXX. So the way it works is basically they bring out a product, and if it's really good, like if people really like it, they bring it out like in a small quantity the first year. So for example, the pumpkin wagon that has been out the last couple of years, it's like a pumpkin cart with a witch and a ghost and a cat in it. That came out in a very small quantity the year before last, in 2017, and loads of people really liked it and they sold out pretty much instantly. So in 2018 they brought out a kind of a larger quantity. So in 2018 they were literally in every store. There was quite a few per store, and that is for like the main bulk of like people to buy it. And then they probably will bring it back out again in 2019's Halloween, just as like almost the stragglers, if there was any left over from last year. So from what I can tell after sort of talking to the people that own TKMAXX's Halloween section and a homesense's Halloween section, basically they work in a kind of 3-year blob. So if you see something that you really like one year that's completely new, and it's in very low stock, then usually the rule of thumb is that it will be out the next year in very large quantities, and then by the 3rd year you still should be able to get hold of it. This is very generalized. There obviously are some items which are just kind of like one-stop shops, but yeah, that is very kind of generalized outlook of it. But hopefully I may be able to pick up one of these kind of skull bat things. I've definitely seen them for the last 2 years. What else would I be looking for? I think in 2019 Halloween I'm going to see if I can steer away from mugs. I have so many Halloween mugs. It is redonkulous. But I said that last year, and last year I think I probably bought about 20, so I probably that was just a waste of oxygen even saying that. What else was I looking for? I think definitely more kind of vintage style things. There was definitely some really cute like vintage like little witches with cats and stuff, which I really liked. I was able to get hold of one this year, which was like a cat on a moon. I'm not sure if I actually made a haul about that one because it was a very sort of last minute kind of buy. I got it in the Halloween sales, which means I probably ordered it around the beginning of October. Halloween stuff in homesense and TKMAXX starts going on sale at the beginning of October, and by Halloween it is all gone, which is really sad. This year though, definitely I have found the TKMAXX website a godsend, and every single item that I have been searching for has at some point been on the website, which is why it's really handy to be part of these kind of Facebook groups and messenger groups. Just because you will be kind of kept up to date. Like, people will message you at 2 a.m. and be like, oh, just so you know, the site just updated and that one thing that you really wanted is now on there. And you can get click and collect as well, so you don't have to kind of pay for really expensive shipping. So yeah, I think kind of existing Halloween decorations, there are probably not so many that I am after, just because I kind of am one of those people that can't sleep until I find the thing that I want. So when anything kind of came up in store that I really, really needed and couldn't live without, I definitely was able to kind of pick it up. But things that I'm looking for this year would, as I said, more like vintage items. I think more fabric items, as I was saying. Like, I am a sucker for a Halloween blanket and bedding. And even maybe some more kind of clothing and things. 2017's Halloween was when we had the Pasheen Halloween jogging bottoms from H&M, which I loved, and I was really excited this year because I was like, oh, maybe H&M will bring out some more kind of similar ones, but they didn't, and that was really sad because I felt like they are such good quality. I think I have literally like 10 pairs of them because they end up going on sale for like £2, so I just bought every single one in the shop. So yeah, maybe some more clothing items, things that I would like to make, and I know you guys are going to be screaming at me right now, and that is my Halloween doll's house. I really, really want to get back into that, and I do genuinely love making those videos, and I know you guys have been waiting for me to finally upload another one. But the thing is, I do really need to be in the right kind of mood and mindset for doing that. And I feel like I've kind of shot myself in the foot here because we are kind of entering the hotter months and the sunnier months. And when it's nice and kind of nice weather, let's say outside, I would rather be kind of more outside exploring in the forests and stuff rather than sat inside crafting. I did ask for people to submit pictures to kind of be stuck on the wall in the roof of my doll's house, which I still want to do. I have got all those pictures saved in a file it's just on my Facebook page. So if you do still have any pictures that you've drawn or made or anything or painted, please do feel free to send those over. They are still going to be going in there at some point. I think when I started my doll's house, it was a very odd kind of time in my life where I was very secure at university. There was no kind of looming assignments. There was really nothing urgent I needed to do. I was pretty free, and I wasn't kind of tied down by anything other than the fact I had to go back to university in that September. So the doll's house was really like an outlet for me, just so that I didn't kind of feel like my days were wasted. Because not only was I being able to make content for the channel, but also I was crafting and kind of getting a nice finished result. The thing with my doll's house is I had kind of decorated all the walls now, and now it's just kind of the furniture, which is the bit which is very, very time consuming, and also it costs so much money. Crafting, I love crafting and I love DIY, but I detest people who try and make out like it is a very cheap option of doing things. Obviously, DIYing your own doll's house is probably cheaper than kind of paying someone else to do it for you. but the amount of money that you have to spend in order to get the supplies to DIY is ridiculous. So what with the fireplaces, obviously the wood part was around £5, and then you have to buy the paint, which luckily I do have a good supply of, and the glue, which again I have a good supply of, but it's building up that original supply that is kind of the costly bit of the whole thing. And then the miniatures, like, oh goodness, it was like £5 per miniature. So just kind of putting a few little things on the top of your doll's house, it does get expensive. Obviously there are ways around it. Like, for example, if you're making a crystal ball, you don't need to buy a pre-made one. You could get like you could get like a bead and like a bead cup and like just glue them together or something. But I think I was very torn, and still very, very torn of having one that looks very DIY or one that looks more professional, if that makes sense. And I do like the professional polished look, and sometimes I feel like my level of DIY isn't as polished as I would like it to be. So yeah, I think definitely time and money are a reason why my doll's house hasn't kind of progressed as much as I would have hoped that it would. But yeah, I do have to apologise for that, because I know a lot of you have been kind of like, where are the doll's house videos? I promise there will be some soon at some point, but at the moment it's not kind of that high on my agenda. I think things will be different once I've got a job and once I finish university and I'm kind of floating around just waiting to start and just enjoying my free time. I think then it will be very different, because as I said, then I'll be looking for something to kind of make my days feel productive. Other things that I would like to craft, which aren't necessarily Halloween but could be Halloween themed. Mike has had a big clear out of his clothes, and there's a few t-shirts I really liked, which I would like to make into some cushions or things. I would like to have a go at making a handbag. So there are a few little things which are kind of on my agenda, maybe more home decor stuff, although you guys know I'm running out of space. I have also got my Halloween swap box, so I need to do some DIY crafting for that. And if I do any crafting, I will try and kind of make a craft video. And also I have like a few other kind of people that I'd like to send gifts to this year, which I will be needing to kind of craft for. I have recently been kind of thinking about getting back into cross stitch. Now, something which I'm sure other crafters are very similar. I just want to try everything, and I will pick up a new craft very, very quickly. I will make sure that I have created a few awesome spooky things with it, and then I will move on to the next craft. And I don't want to be the kind of person that could only do like one set thing. I want to be able to do like every craft out there, so I will maybe not be the best at every single craft, but I will be able to do it sufficiently. So what with like my pyrography, I bought that, I wood burnt a few things, I made a few gifts with them, sold a few things that were wood burn, and then moved on to the next thing. Same with cross stitch, I did a few kits, I did a few custom things, I did my own patterns, and once I'd kind of mastered that, I moved on and I tried diamond painting again. I loved diamond painting, and we've had needle felting. I just like having a go at everything, but I'm definitely not the kind of person that will kind of find that one true thing. Like when I think of like the Midnight Crafter, she is amazing at her miniature crafts, but I feel like something that she always has sort of going in the background is like some form of a cross stitch project. I am very bad with like projects of like putting them down and leaving them and coming back. I just can't do that. I'm the sort of person that needs to get things done like there and then. So when I have a cross stitch that I'm doing, I will spend every day doing that. And yeah, until it's finished. And once it's finished, I'm like, cool, frame it and just put it up, and then I kind of forget about it. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to pick up some more crafts, but definitely cross stitch is something that's been on my mind. I would like to maybe get a new kind of Halloween cross stitch kit. The last cross stitch I did was a very, very, very large one, and I honestly put so many hours into it. It was very, very challenging for the kind of the fact I'd only done a few kits to start with, I kind of jumped in pretty much in the deep end, and I think it was just very exhausting to finish. And once I was finished, I was like, good, it's done, like I never have to touch it again. And it's when a craft doesn't become enjoyable, which is when I normally drop it, like when I start feeling a bit like it's a chore. But now I'm kind of craving that kind of cross-stitch calming effect. So hopefully I'll be able to find some new Halloween kits. I know that the Midnight Crafter did like link me some on Facebook the other day, some new Mill Hill ones. So maybe I'll be able to get one of those. So yeah, exciting news though, because I've just had a message through, which I should probably reply to soon. So basically, this year I am going to be bringing out a pin for you guys. I did try and make some t-shirts, which were hilarious. I spent ages designing them and finding a good company to sort of run it through. I then ordered one for myself just to see what the quality would be like, and was shocked at the fact that basically the t-shirts cost like £15 to create. So the only kind of profit as such I'd be making off merch would be anything that I charge over 15. So if I was charging £20 for the t-shirt, I'd get £15 of that. Sorry, £5 of that, because the 15 would go to the people that actually make it. So it was kind of a toss-up of like, do I make the t-shirts really, really expensive and gain more profit and kind of make it worthwhile, or do I make them more affordable and kind of gain nothing from it? And due to the fact that I did want it to be more of like a personal like thing, like I wanted to kind of package them up myself and kind of write little notes to everyone, much like I did with the necklaces. It was going to end up basically costing me money. Also, when I ordered one of these t-shirts, it ended up being so expensive with the shipping as well. I was just like, I can't expect people to pay this much for a t-shirt, which I don't even want to buy, if that makes sense, because it's that expensive. But I was having a think, and I was thinking about doing some pins, and I had been looking at designing some. And then I was contacted by Chris Miners. Now, again, I will link his video down below. It's my video of his things. He sent me some Halloween cards this year, which were beautiful. They were so gorgeously made, and he is kind of very much an advocate for kind of making Halloween a bit more accepted, let's say, in the UK. I think at the moment it's a very weird place where, as I said, it's a fine line between tacky and then really, really well done. And he's creating a storybook for children which kind of celebrates Halloween and is full of these gorgeous kind of watercolor illustrations. So he contacted me regarding a pin, which is what I just had a message about on my phone, and he asked if I'd like to work with him to make this year's Halloween pin. So he wanted kind of something which was sort of significant to me and my channel and you guys, but also like generally to Halloween as well, and just a way of like celebrating both of our achievements in sort of one pin. He obviously has the talent of making pins, something which I have never tried, but I'm sure he is much better than I am, since it is a craft which I have never attempted. So basically we all kind of pitched in ideas, and one idea which I did have was making a Year of the Bat pin. Obviously last year was Year of the Ghost, but I thought it'd be really cool if, I'm assuming this Year of the whatever thing is going to just carry on until the end of time. So it would be really cool if maybe we could like create a limited edition pin for each year, and any of you hardcore pin collectors out there could perhaps collect one each year, which is a year of the whatever pin. So we've just been going through designs, finalising colours and stuff. Don't worry guys, I have asked for the bat to have green eyes, in case anyone was worrying. So yeah, we're just kind of having a look at kind of finalising those. So watch that space, because that will be hopefully coming out soon. It will be like purchasing through his store. But yeah, I'll give you all that kind of information once we've finalised it. So yeah, very exciting times ahead. Lots of things are happening. So yeah, I'm not sure how long I should make this podcast. I'm one of those people that could probably talk for the next 5 hours, but I also don't want to bore you guys. Another thing reason why I wanted to make podcasts is because recently I used to listen to a lot of podcasts kind of a year or so ago while I was driving, and recently I've been listening to YouTube videos instead, which is all very well, but when you're watching, say, Heavy Metal Mama describing her new gothic shoes that she bought, it's not always that handy when they're kind of talking about it and you can't actually see it. And of course, I'm not going to be watching it while I'm driving because I'm pretty sure that's illegal. So I was kind of just using YouTube videos as something to listen to. So I kind of was thinking maybe some of you guys would be similar, and maybe this is something that you could listen to without having to watch. I know that normally my videos are very kind of visual, like I'm describing things that I'm physically holding. So again, I thought this podcast would be a chance for me to actually talk, and you can just carry on with your daily life while you listen. So yeah, do let me know if you enjoyed this podcast. Maybe this will be my first and last one. Maybe this will be the first of many. I did have a look at maybe putting these onto iTunes podcast or maybe Spotify podcast, but it's a relatively laborious process in order to qualify for that. So what I thought I'd do is test out the waters first here on YouTube, just where all you ghouls are, and then potentially in the future I could look into that. But for now I'm probably try and keep it YouTube based, just because this is what we know. But yeah, hopefully maybe in the future I'll be able to do that. I know YouTube does have a download button, so perhaps if you are thinking of listening to this in a car where you wouldn't have 3G or something, or data, you could maybe download it at home. So again, another little idea I've had. But exciting times. I always want to try and keep improving myself and improving the channel and bringing you guys new things. So this is just one of those experiments and ideas I had. And as I said, I'm one of those people that if I have something in my head, I need to do it. I need to execute it there and then. Yesterday evening, I was like, I want to make a podcast. So here I am kind of the next morning doing one. So yeah, let me know what you guys think below if you would like to hear another podcast soon. I did mention in my Ghoul group that maybe it would be a weekly thing, maybe every 2 weeks, maybe a daily thing if I get really bored in July. But we'll see. It definitely won't subtract from any of my usual videos. It will be an additional thing. Obviously editing and filming my usual videos is a lot more high intense. Takes a lot of time, whereas I'm sat here with no makeup on, with my hair in a mess, wearing my pajamas, with a Pepsi Cherry Max at my side. I look like a state, but no one would know, other than the fact I just told you. So yeah, let me know what you think. If you do have any ideas of topics or anything you'd like covered down below, please do let me know. As I said, this one's a bit more of a kind of update one, just because it is the first one. But I'm happy to go into a bit more further depth about actual kind of in-depth topics, whether it be Halloween related, gothic related, spooky, just random. Just let me know down below. So thank you very much for watching. So thank you very much for listening. If you do have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. If it's sunny where you are, I hope you're enjoying the shade, and I will speak to you next time. Bye.